Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to read the resolution proclaiming this month as Growing Grounds Month. The resolution reads as follows. Whereas Transitions Mental Health launched the Growing Grounds Farm and Nursery on Orchid Road in 1984, and whereas Growing Grounds has been one of California's most effective and compassionate forms of treatment for adults challenged by mental illness, and whereas over the course of 40 years, Growing Grounds has provided paid employment, vocational training, therapeutic horticulture, and guidance to securing jobs in the greater community for over 2,000 people living with mental illness. And whereas during those 40 years, Growing Grounds has been a source of volunteer opportunities for thousands of community members, psychiatric technicians, nursing students, special education students from SLO High School, and panicked Cal Poly and Cuesta students needing last-minute community service requirements. And whereas Growing Grounds Farm and Nursery is a business that puts the interests of people and planet ahead of financial gain, and represents the very first social enterprise in the state of California. And whereas Growing Grounds has become one of the leading suppliers for drought-tolerant and Mediterranean landscaping plants throughout the Central Coast. And whereas Growing Grounds of San Luis Obispo has been so successful that it spawned 2 additional programs, a store in downtown San Luis Obispo and a sister farm in Santa Maria, as well as farms in Ventura and Los Angeles. Now therefore be it resolved and ordered that the Board of Supervisors of the County of San Luis Obispo, State of California, does hereby proclaim April 2024 as Growing Grounds Month in the County of San Luis Obispo, encouraging citizens to increase their understanding and awareness of mental wellness and to celebrate the remarkable achievement of Growing Grounds Farm and Nursery.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for making the entire month of April Growing Grounds Month. We're really excited. I certainly want to make sure that I invite all of you to our April 20th event. We're having a community-wide celebration for our 40th anniversary. And as the resolution reads, you know, we've just been so proud to have this 40-year history. I've only been here for 34 years of it, so I'm glad that I have one of the founders. But Growing Grounds is actually what brought me to the organization. I was a Cal Poly student, and I was babysitting for the co-founder of Growing Grounds, Barbara Fisher, my predecessor, and she was working on establishing Growing Grounds. And so I started volunteering. I fell in love. I have family members who have mental health diagnoses, and the rest is history. So I'm just so delighted that we've actually had a successful business that has been here for 40 years, and all the vicissitudes and vagaries that come with farming and horticulture have been part of our history. And I'm just really proud that we've been able to grow and thrive over these past 40 years. So I would like to introduce my board president, J.T. Haas. He's a retired engineer from PG&E, and he was instrumental in actually establishing the location, the PG&E substation that we use for Growing Grounds and have for 40 years. So J.T., if you don't mind taking it away.
Thank you, Jill. Yeah, I'm J.T. Haas, formerly an electrical engineer with Pacific Gas and Electric Company. And I'd just like to take you back for just a second to 1983. And I was approached by Jill's predecessor, the executive director of what was then just the Mental Health Association. We hadn't become Transitions Mental Health yet. We were just a little tiny organization. And she had this idea. And the idea was that we would take folks with mental illness and we would give them a job. You know, well, back then people were like, what? You're going to do what? And I was working for PG&E, and she had identified this piece of land out by the substation out on Orchid and Johnson, and it was vacant at the time, and we were just doing landscaping services there, and said, well, maybe we could start a farm. Well, okay, how would that work? Well, I don't know. We're not really farmers, but we really know how to take care of people. And a really important component of taking care of people is to get them a job, something that they can feel proud about and something that they can take some pride in, and catapult that into, you know, rejoining society again. And you know, in my logical mind as an engineer, I'm kind of going, boy, that makes a lot of sense to me. You know, let's see if we can do this. Well, again, 1983, you know, the hierarchy of PG&E, and we had this small group that we go to our first meeting and say, you know, we're going to start this farm, and we're going to take people with, you know, some sort of a diagnosis of a mental illness, and we're going to put them to work, and guess what? We're going to do this all on PG&E property. Well, that sort of went over, but not really. Took, you know, many months after that. Again, this was 1983. We started the farm in 1984. So it took about a year of, you know, meeting after meeting after meeting and convincing folks that this really could work. And why don't they at least give us a shot, you know, give us a 1-year lease. So we signed up for a 1-year lease. We got a bunch of community volunteers, some PG&E folks and just regular community volunteers to build a kit greenhouse. It was this thing, you know, of course you didn't have the internet then, right? So I think it was a toll-free number you called, and we ordered this greenhouse, and we didn't even really know what we got, but it came, and it was in a kit. And we're like, oh my gosh, now what are we going to do? So I think we sort of maybe borrowed a PG&E line truck and somehow got it out there, and we drilled a bunch of holes, and we put these foundations in, and we built this greenhouse, and we just started propagating plants. And next thing you know, we're planting crops, and we're making collaborations with, you know, restaurants and local purveyors, the food bank of the time, and the senior nutrition kitchen, I remember, that would use our products and get it out to mainstream. At the real core of it, again, using mental health, you know, clients to provide all the labor and provide a job and provide the therapy, you know, the vocational and the whole notion of, you know, it's horticulture and you're working with your hands and you're in the dirt and you're making things grow, and it just turned people's lives around. So from that day forward, then, it wasn't too much of a stretch to convince PG&E and the folks in the community to let us slowly expand it and expand it and expand it. And so we went from one little greenhouse to now there's 4 greenhouses, and there's potting sheds, and you know, hundreds of folks a year are being brought through there and given an opportunity to have a job, you know, which is, you know, like housing and then to have a job. And so for me, you know, that's 40 years ago now, which just absolutely astounds me because I had no idea what we were embarking on. And it's just been wildly successful. And just maybe to wrap this up, I'm going to throw a plug in. As you mentioned, we have the farm in San Luis, and we have now a farm down in Santa Maria, and we couple that together with the store that's in downtown San Luis. And part of our most recent strategic plan now is to push into North County. And so I'm actively out there looking for a piece of land and looking for some partners and looking for some collaborations, because I think a sister farm in North County coupled with a store operation and all kinds of other, you know, great vocational opportunities, we really could use it in North County. So I'm everywhere that I go, I throw it out there because, you know, who knows, a piece of land will pop up. It'll be just similar to the story in San Luis, and we can start a farm in North County, and I think that would be amazing. And with that, I'll give it back to Jill.
Thank you, JT. Very good plug. So keep it in mind, Supervisors Pashong and Arnold. And I just want to thank you for your partnership. As you know, we've had a long-time contract. I'm glad to see Health Agency Director Nick Drews is here. Very supportive partnership. And that's the way it's a therapeutic work experience. And so thank you again for this resolution, for all your support, and I hope to see you all on April 20th, 12 to 5, out at Growing Grounds Nursery. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. With that, I'll open the floor for any public comment. I don't have any requests to speak that I know of. Not seeing anyone come forward, I will bring back to the board for comments. Supervisor Ortiz-Lake.
Yeah, I'll start by just saying we are so fortunate to have Transitions Mental Health in our community, and thank you for the storytelling, JT. We really appreciated providing us with that background on, when people come together and bring along our businesses and all what we can achieve, and you've done a great job. I mean, it's just really amazing. And Jill, your leadership, and Michael, just bowling with you the other day. We just, have so many ways that we as individuals can support Transitions Mental Health, but you've really demonstrated the importance of individuals of all types to have purpose, to have reason to get up and to try themselves at a new place and working with others, and then producing. I really love the part about getting your hands in the dirt and actually seeing something grow and then turning it into, whether it's a food or I have a plant in my house that's really big and growing crazy, and so all of those things which came from the store. So it's just the seeds of success are all over this county, so thank you.
Supervisor Bashan?
Before you sneak out, I just wanted to thank you for all you do. You do an incredible job in our community, and people are better off in our community because of the job that you do. And I completely agree that if you give people a job, there's a lot that they can overcome. So thank you for what you do.
Supervisor Paulding?
Thank you, Terry. I just want to say ditto to all of that. Thank you so much for what you do. Totally support your programs.
Supervisor Gibson, did you have more?
Yeah, I'll add my thanks and great appreciation for bringing the origin story to us today. That's a lovely thought, and look forward to many more years of your success out there.
And I want to thank you as well. I always love to hear the history, county history. We do have a unique county. We have a lot of awesome stories like that, so thank you for sharing it on the record so everyone will be able to revisit that story. I can't thank TMHA enough. You've been an integral partner and organization working with the county public health all these many years, and the story speaks for itself, the successes that we've had here in San Luis with your help. So thank you for being here. It's an honor to recognize you this morning. So thank you.